There are some people who have won the DV lottery, and there are some who applied for the DV lottery and they are waiting for the results. But what happens if you have won the DV lottery and you don't have the marriage certificate? That's number one. Or rather, you are married in a traditional sense, but you don't have the marriage certificate. How are you going to process in order for you and your spouse to come to the United States of America together with your spouse? What is the process? This has been a very big question. Many people are struggling to find the answer for that particular question or situation. And I want to break down to you, what does that mean? I understand and respect the traditions and the cultures of different people where they live. There are some countries, once you do the traditional marriage, is more respected than this marriage which you go to church or mosque or to the government. I understand that. That's your culture. That's your tradition. There are some countries, if a man stays with a woman for 6 months or for 1 year in the same house, that's your wife, no matter what. That is the law of the countries, different countries. I respect that. But when you are processing the diversity visa lottery, you are processing basing on the American regulations. You are processing basing on the American laws. You are not processing basing on the tradition of your country. So the United States doesn't care about your tradition. What they care is for you to prove to the United States you are married according to what documentations are going to be accepted in the American regulations. Because if you say you are married and you come here as married, you are going to get certain benefits which are federal benefits. If you win the diversity visa lottery and you say you are married, basically you are telling the US government to give the green card also to your spouse. So they have the right for them to ask, give us the proof that you are married. The proof you are married is not about your traditional marriage. It's not about to stay with a woman or with a man for 1 full year or 2 years. It's not about having a child together. It's one document. It's the marriage certificate provided by the government of your country. That's all. But some countries, I can give you an example of Tanzania. The marriage certificate they give you in the mosque, they give you in the church, basically comes from the government, which is called the RITA. The same organization or agency which provides birth certificate, death certificate, provides also the marriage certificates. I don't know about other countries. So in Tanzania, if you get married to the church, you don't need to get extra certificate, because that certificate is the church, is not a church's certificate. It's not written Catholic Church. It's not written Anglican Church or Moravian Church or mosque number, whatever the name of the mosque is written, the United Republic of Tanzania. So the same birth certificate, the person or the institutions or the agents which provides the birth certificate will be the same one providing the marriage certificate. So you have to follow the procedures to get the marriage certificate from the government. But I know you might have the question to me that, but I have the traditional marriage maybe 5 years ago. But if I go to get the marriage certificate today, they are going to write the marriage certificate for today's date, not the date I got married. There is no problem with that. It's just like, what if I go to get the passport today? They are writing the passport, I got the passport today. But technically, I didn't become a citizen today. I was a citizen since then. So you'll prove to them that, okay, for me, even if I get the certificate today, I'm going to get the passport today, I became a natural citizen since 10 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever years ago. So you say, yes, I went to get the certificate. Yes, the certificate has today's date, but this is registration to register in the government system, but I was married on the traditional way, and these are the proof of the documentation of that particular sense. So if you have pictures to show that there was a traditional marriage maybe 5 years ago, you prove to them that you pay dowry or bride price, whatever you call it in your system, you can prove that way. You can prove to them that the law of our country, if you stay with a person for 1 year, that is the spouse, and this person have stayed for how many years? For 5 years, plus we have children together, we are living together in the same house even right now, and now I have this marriage certificate from the government. In the end, the marriage certificate must be there. That is important. Without the marriage certificate, it doesn't matter how many years you have lived with the person in that house. Because in the American situation, so not about your country, American regulations, you can live with a person, have 50 kids together for 50 years. It doesn't matter. It's not your wife, it's not your husband if you don't have the marriage certificate. If you don't register with the government, that is not the marriage certificate. You cannot benefit from the legal point of view. So to get a green card is a legal point of view because you get the federal benefit as your spouse. So you must have the marriage certificate. And also for those people who are getting married after applying for the DV lottery, you need to have also the evidence just in case, so that you can prove that the marriage you are having is a bona fide marriage. It's not a marriage which is just on the purpose of getting green card. I think I've been able to explain to you. So what to do? Make sure you go to the government. Make sure you go to your country, whether it is the local government or is the central government, federal government, whatever country you use the system, make sure you get the marriage certificate. Because without the marriage certificate from your government, you will never be given the visa. You will never be given the green card. That's very important because the majority of you will be denied the access. They are not going to give you, they are not going to feel sorry for you, because that is the biggest thing. If they accept you are married, another person gets a green card. So they have to be sure, they have to get the documentation to prove that you are married before they give you that benefit. So if you are doing the traditional marriage and you applied for the DV 2023, or you applied to apply the DV 2024 for next year, whatever it is, or you already applied and you won, start processing the marriage certificate. That's what will be very important for you. Because you're already married. Even if it's not about a green card, just have the marriage certificate for your own benefits.